just lost my mucus plug and I don't think that my water broke, but I think something is going on because there's water trickling down my leg. After we did the spinning babies method, the contractions picked up so much. And at this point, I didn't think I could do it, y'all. The dilation station. This hour was the worst of my labor. As soon as I got in the pool, I started to push. It was only by his grace and mercy I was able to endure and get to meet our baby girl in the comforts of our own home. Won't he do it? Hey y'all, hey. I am so excited to film this video. Y'all have no idea. Like, I just feel like it's such a blessing that I'm able to film like a video like this because I feel like it's so rare. Even if you like look on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like I just feel like it's so rare to hear a great birth story. So I won't negate that there are great birth stories, and it's also because of these platforms I felt like I was able to do it. But y'all not ready for this. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So boom, it was January 23rd, 2024, and baby girl decided, hey, so okay, let me backtrack. So my due date was January 23rd and I went into labor January 23rd, but I had her January 24th. So it's January 23rd. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm chilling with my husband. My husband had just came back home from Japan because he was deployed. He's deployed right now. He was deployed. He still is deployed from that time. But anyway, he had just came home on the 19th. So we chilling. We watching TV, a SWAT to be exact. And I go to the bathroom. I sit down. I get up. And I just feel little trinkles go down my leg. And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like, okay, don't freak out, don't freak out. I look in the toilet, y'all. My mucus plug was in the toilet. Now, anybody that knows anything about birth, they say when you lose your mucus plug, obviously naturally, you are about to go into labor. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Lost my mucus plug, water trickling. So I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I just start freaking out and I walk out to the room. I'm like, babe, I lost my mucus plug, blah, blah, blah. He's like, babe, calm down, just relax, take a chill pill. So I was like, okay, let me breathe. So the next thing we did was call our doula. And our doula, amazing doula, God sent, like 10 out of 10 recommend, love her, she's amazing. And I'll actually leave her Instagram down in the comment section below. But anyway, loved her, she was amazing. So I get on the phone with her and I'm like, hey Ashley, I just lost my mucus plug and I don't think that my water broke, but I think something is going on because there's water trickling down my leg. She's like, all right, I'm on my way. So she comes into our apartment and she's like, literally 5 minutes later, less than 5 minutes, maybe 3. And she was like, okay, now this is go time kind of thing. I had not been feeling any contractions or anything. This is just what happened. So she was like, hey, I need you to leave the house. She was like, and don't come back for a very, very long time. And her point behind that, and we talked about it during our prenatal visits and all of the things, but her point behind that was if we leave the house, then we were able to not think about the birth. And like, it would just prolong things. It would create anxiety being at home, just sitting and waiting. So we just left the house. We got dressed. I took a shower after that because it was stuff, you know, coming down me. I put on an adult diaper and then we got dressed and we left the house. The first place we went to was the mall. So we went to the mall. We're walking around, chilling, looking at things, looking at baby things now because I'm like, I just, you know, you get in the mood. So we went to Carter's, but we didn't know our gender. So it was like, I don't even know what to get. I don't know. We're just looking. So as we're walking around the mall, the contractions start to come. And it wasn't nothing like crazy, right? It just literally felt like a period cramp. Like, that's the best way that I can describe. And excuse me for my lack of words, because I literally cannot, when I get to a point describing pain, labor pain, all of the things, labor sensations we like to call it, I just cannot describe it. So excuse me now. But anyway, it felt like a period cramp. So I'm like, all right, it's go time. It's go time. So I'm like, babe, I'm feeling a contraction. So, and I could walk through it, talk through it. It literally just felt like a cramp. And they started to come like 10 minutes apart as we're walking through the mall. So we leave the mall, we get in the car, we come back home. I take another shower because I'm like, I don't know. I just felt weird. I took another shower. By this time it was like maybe, I got a timestamp for you. So I actually forgot that I made a timestamp, January 29th. So this was 4 days after my birth, but I knew that I wanted to tell this story, so I made a timestamp. So at 4:16 is when I lost my mucus plug. It came back at 5:08. Our doula came in. Okay, this is better. Our doula came in and she suggested getting out of the house, all the things. So we got out, we left the house, we came back. That's where I left off at. So when we came back, it was 7:13 p.m. We came back home, I took a nap. And then at 9:08 p.m., because our doula also recommended resting. She was like, you have to rest to like prepare yourself for this. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But during this marathon, you need to be resting. And the contractions were not bad at all. Like I could sleep through them, all the things. So at 9:08, I woke up. Well, around 9 o'clock, I woke up. And at 9:08, we went to go get Thai food. It was our last dinner as a family of two. Like, I'm glad we took a picture, but it was just so like surreal. Like even as we were sitting there eating, I'm like, wow, like we're really about to have a baby. We're really about to be a family of 3. It's no more just you and me, babe. Another thing, the Thai place, it's called Thai Signature. It's on King Street in Alexandria. I'll link that below as well because that is our favorite Thai spot. But we went to go get Thai and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this place. So anyway, so this was our last dinner as a family too. At this point, the contractions were still 10 minutes apart, but they were like getting a little more uncomfortable, achy. We were going through the things. I get in the car, they're getting a little more intense. We get home we leave at Thai Signature because I'm like, babe, we gotta go. Like I can't just sit here. Towards the end of the dinner, I was just like, babe, we gotta go because I just cannot sit here and like feel the pain. Like we need to be doing stuff. So we finished eating and then we went to Whole Foods before it closed. It was 9:48 and we're walking up and down the aisles of Whole Foods because again, our doula, our midwife said just stay active, get out the house and stay active. It will progress your birth and it will make you not think about it as well. So we're walking up and down the aisles. At this point, I have to stop because like while the contractions are going, I have to stop because again, they're achy. At this point, these are contractions that feel like the worst of your period. And you just have to sit with the heating pad on and like curl up in a ball and just sit in your bed. So from that point, from the Whole Foods point to 7 a.m., so 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., those are how those contractions feel. The aching pain, the curl up in a ball, I can still live, but this is really painful. They did not progress, they did not change. That's exactly how they felt throughout the entire time from that 9 p.m. point to 7 a.m. I just want to put that in there because I'm still gonna go back, but I just want to let y'all know that's how it felt from that point. After we go up, so we are at Whole Foods and at one point I had to stop and this lady's like, is everything okay? And my husband was like, oh, she's okay, she's just in labor. She's like, in labor? So it's funny because that's literally how, I don't know, there's a stigma behind labor. You need to be touched, seen, helped versus just your body just doing what it needs to do naturally and you're helping it along by walking, ignoring the anxiety that can come up, all of the things. So, but my husband was, just not shoot her off, but was just like, oh, she's fine. Like not fine, but she's okay. We're walking through it. 10 o'clock Whole Foods closed. We walk out of the Whole Foods, we go home. Our house is literally a block and a half from Whole Foods. So we get home and at 10:17, I'm like, okay, these are contractions. I'm feeling them, all of the things. I'm like, all right, Like at first I'm like, okay, maybe it's not labor, but like at this point I knew I was in labor. So we called my midwife at 10:17 p.m. Just to notify her that labor had begun. And she was like, all right, go to sleep. It's so crazy because everybody, like literally our whole birth team was just like, relax, rest, get all the rest that you can get because you will be tired. So she was like, go to sleep. So around 10:46, I went to bed and the contractions lasted through the night. They were all consistent, 8 to 10 minutes apart until 7 a.m. They were the achy pain, like it kept me up, but I was still able to rest. So I was able to go to sleep within those minutes of contractions. And some of those contractions I was able to sleep through. But throughout the night, I was up squeezing my husband's hand, like, you know, he's getting up, checking on me, getting water, going back to sleep, all the things. But it was just chill. It wasn't like extra, you know. It was just really chill. So about 10 hours we were just in labor, laying in the bed, chilling. And it's so crazy because it's not what I expected, because again, you see the movies, you see people talk about it, all the things. It just goes from I felt contractions to boom, baby's here. And there's no in-between point, but there was an in-between point here. And yeah, I was just really grateful for how slow paced and chill things were, because it made me very chill. I wasn't nervous, I wasn't anxious, I wasn't scared, like I was just chill. So fast forward to 7:19 a.m. the contractions were just chill. So I'm up at 7 a.m. at this point. The contractions at around 8 a.m. the contractions start to get a little more intense. Not crazy, but it wasn't like I couldn't lay down and rest. Like I couldn't go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep. I was up. So the midwife actually called around this time as well. And she's like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? How far the contractions apart? And actually during this time, I used an app. Still have it because I don't know why. It's called Contraction Timer. And literally throughout the night, I was recording my contractions, and I just pressed this when it started and pressed when it ended. We're going through the contractions, and then we get on the phone with the midwife. She's asking how far they are apart, all of the things. And I'm like, oh, you know, we're okay. It's painful, but it's not like crazy. Y'all, I get up, I start walking around. My husband made me eat something, and they get a little more intense. Like as soon as I got up, they started to get a little more intense. We get downstairs to the car and we get to, oh, I'm sorry, rewind. Our midwife told us to come into the office. Now the office is literally 6 to 7 blocks away from us. I'm telling you, all this was like literally nothing but the grace of God. So the birthing center, I wanted a home birth. I had a home birth, but the midwives we use also had a birthing center. So anyway, we get to the birthing center and I'm in the car, and the contractions start to pick up. As far as like the intensity of the contractions, they started to pick up, and I'm like, whew, all right, we're gonna get through this. At this point, I have to breathe through it. We get out the car. It's cold outside too, so it was great for me because I don't like to be hot. So we park the car. And then as we park the car, I get out the car and I have my first intense contraction, and I couldn't move. I couldn't I literally just had my husband, he came behind me, he squeezed my hips together, he rubbed my back, and I just let it go through. I just let it go through. And I'm like, well, okay, y'all, this is it. And at that point I thought it was it, and that's how intense it was. But it really, leading up, I realized it wasn't as intense as I thought it was at the time. So we get into the birthing center and we just talk to my midwife. She's asking questions. Am I able to get through my contractions? How am I coping with things? She gave us exercises to do at home while I'm in labor, and then she did spinning babies with us. And after we did the spinning babies method, the contractions picked up so much. Like I had to breathe through them. And at the same time, I was very grateful to be able to go to the birthing center and talk to our midwife, because she was able to give us ways around contractions and like exactly what to do. So like she was able to witness my contraction and tell me what I'm doing right and tell me what I'm doing wrong. So my body posture, my breathing, she was able to witness it and be like, hey, I need you to work on this. Or when you are leaning onto something, make sure your back is arched this way, or you're putting your weight in a certain area. And I was really grateful for that because it was helpful throughout the rest of my time in labor. So we get home. So we went to the birthing center around 9:30, 10 o'clock. We get back home and it's 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. At this point, I'm like, all right, this is rough. This is hard. So my husband makes me eat something again. At this point, I'm not really in the mood to eat. I'm just like a little discombobulated. And my husband's like, all right, let's get out the house. So we get out the house and we walk up and down the hallways and up and down the stairs. Y'all, we get to the stairwell. And at this point, like I said, during these contractions, I have to stop. Like I have to stop. I have to breathe through them. I cannot, I'm leaning onto my husband. I cannot do these myself anymore. So we get to the stairwell, and at this point, I didn't think I could do it, y'all. I was like, babe, I don't know if I can do this. This is painful. This hurts. I don't know how much longer we have. Like, I've been in labor since yesterday. I don't know, babe. And he immediately starts praying, reading scripture, just speaking life into me and over me. And I was just so grateful for that moment. And literally in that moment, I was like, I can do this. Like, I got the courage back up. I can do this. So we're walking around. We get back up to the room. When we get to the room, so we also talk to my doula. My doula comes in, gives us more advice, and then she leaves. Now, mind you, the midwife and doula both could have been there during that time, but I requested not to. I just wanted to be more of an intimate kind of thing with just me and my husband. I didn't want like outside people into my space yet. And I just honestly just wanted to be in control of my space. And the more people that I invited into my space, the less in control I would be in. So I just, I was just like, hey, we don't need you right now. I'm good with my husband. I'll call you when I need you. But she came in, she checked, talked to me, gave me some more ideas, techniques, and then she left. And me and my husband were on the pregnancy ball. We're doing the rebozo, which was godsend. My doula Ashley again taught us about the rebozo, and during our prenatal appointments she taught us how to use the rebozo, how it can be helpful during labor. So we're using the rebozo, and then they also tell us having sex would help the birth process alone. So my husband and I did that, and we tried that, and whew, I couldn't even focus. I was just in a lot of pain. So we kind of just stopped. And then afterwards, we took a shower. He rubbed my back. He had the shower head and he was just putting it up and down my back, warming it. He put a stool in the shower so I could sit down. But it was very intense. It was intense. I could still talk after the contraction, but I could not talk during the contraction. And again, I was just a little fickle, a little discombobulated. I get out the shower and what did we do? Oh, I got to the toilet. So the dilation station. So I get to the dilation station, and this is when things start to pick up again. So it's always things start to pick up, but it's just more intense and more intense and more intense. And then at this time, my doula came in at the perfect time. She came to check on us, and I was sitting on the toilet and I just didn't know. I had to start playing music and I just didn't know how I was gonna get through this. And the dilation station made baby girl come down more, and I'm just like, I was in a lot of pain. But my doula was doing counter pressure. My husband was coaching me through. Here's a clip right here.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Tyson's.
No one's there right now.
Oh. It's okay. You got it. You got it. You should breathe in, breathe out. You got it.
What about getting on the ball? Have you tried the ball yet?
No.
Like leaning hands and knees on the floor and then leaning on the ball?
Okay.
That might be a good option. Okay, want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me know when you're ready. And if you don't want me to be here right now, I'll leave, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Does this feel alright?
Mm-hmm.
So I get off the dialysis station after a while, and then at this point, I was like, I just need to lay down. So I lay down in the bed, and here's the clip of that. Oh. And at this point, I'm just tapping my legs, my hand. I'm just like, Lord, just help me through it. Just help me through it. So after that, at that point, I was like, babe, call the doula. I can no longer do this. Like, we need help. You have been amazing. You're doing a great job, but I need another person. So my doula literally was just like, I'll be there, I'm coming. So she comes right in after that. And at this point, she's doing things with the pregnancy ball with us, the exercise ball with us, the rebozo. And I'm laying, at one point I was like, I don't want to be touched, leave me alone. And I lay there, I go down to the floor and I lay there and I just start crying. Like, there was a lot of emotional moments in my birth, but yeah, I just started crying, y'all. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. I had a lot of self-doubt, and I told my doula this when we had our post birth meeting. Like, I just feel like I could have done better with the coping mechanisms, and I could have had less self-doubt, because I just feel like I had a lot of self-doubt. I just started crying and I didn't know how I was gonna get through it. And again, my husband, at that moment, he started praying, but he also started speaking life into me. Here's a clip of that.
You can do this, and you are strong, okay? All right. No more language like that, okay? All right. Put on the positives. I'm here. You're here. We have Ashley, Miss Tiffany. We have all these different things to help us. All these different people, you know? The Lord made a way for the TRICARE to cover it and everything. We didn't know if that was gonna happen. There's a lot of stuff we didn't know, and the fact that we're here right now is a blessing. Let's focus on the blessings, okay? Don't focus on what hurts. Don't focus on any of that stuff, okay? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. We're pregnant. You know, we've made it all the way. We should, the fact that that happened is a blessing, you know? All this stuff. You've been very strong throughout the pregnancy the entire pregnancy. Baby got all the nutrition that it needed. You did what you need to do. You're strong. You did it every day. You had a regimen. Every day you had them dates. Every day you had those, whatever someone told you to do, you did it. Okay? That takes strength. You didn't lackadaisical with it. That took a lot of strength. All right? I'm gonna stop talking now. Okay? Kiss.
After that, I felt encouraged, not so much empowered, but I felt encouraged. And I'm like, okay, let's keep trying. So I get up, collect myself, not really collect myself because you can't do that in the middle of labor. And I get on the couch and I lean over and my doula is doing counter pressure again. And I'm like, what is going on? Oh my gosh, I cannot take this. And then they're like, you can do it, Des, you can do it. And then I feel like the urge to throw up. So, y'all, I threw up. Like, vomited. And I threw up for maybe 3 to 4 or 5 minutes. And at this point, they call it the transition period. And at this point, I'm like, I turn around, I'm leaning over, throwing up. And in between, I turn around to my doula while she's doing the counter pressure. I'm like, what is happening to me? What is happening to my body? And it's funny now, it wasn't funny then. And the midwife calls right after I threw up. And the midwife is like, hey, we're just checking in. It's been, X amount of hours. What's going on? How is Des? And I still wanted to be in control of the environment. And I told my husband, tell them I'm fine. Now, I didn't say it like that because I was definitely like in it. I was just like, just tell them I'm okay. So he goes to the closet where they can't hear me yelling through because at this point, even through the contractions, I'm breathing hard, I'm yelling, doing whatever I need to do to get through them. So he calls, they call, goes in the closet to talk to them, and they're like, okay, well, can we speak to get Des? And he's like, yeah, he waits for a contraction to be over. He puts it on mute and waits for a contraction to be over. So I'm like, hey, they're like, hey, it's X amount of time. Do you want us to come now? What's going on? I'm just like, I'm okay. You guys can go home. Because this was the end of the workday. So it was around like 3, maybe 2 o'clock. I'm like, I'm okay. No, it's like 3. I was like, I'm okay. You guys can go home. And as I'm saying that, another contraction comes. And again, like I said, I'm yelling through these contractions now. So I'm like, ah, ah. And they're like, we're on our way. So I'm like, so much for being in control of that, But they came at the perfect time because literally an hour and a half after they came, the baby was here. So anyway, so they're coming, they're on their way. Again, the birth center is literally 6 blocks from our house, so it didn't take them long to get there. They're setting up, they come in. And at this point, I've moved from the couch back to the bed. And we have a stool on the end of our bed. So I was hunched over on our bed. Our other doula came in. Our other doula, Tiffany, got sent again. Love her. She came in and I saw her come in, but I couldn't concentrate. This was the worst of my labor. This hour was the worst of my labor. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want people touching me. It was the worst hour of my labor. I literally said, take me to the hospital. I can't do this anymore. And they're like, no, you're almost there. But yeah, so for an hour, this was just the worst part. I literally cannot describe the amount of pain I was in. It was agonizing. And our midwives come in, and our midwife comes into the room with me, and she's like, hey Des, I know that you're having a hard time, but we have to get the baby's heartbeat. So she used the Doppler. It takes her like 30 minutes to find the heartbeat, which was a little frustrating. I think that was probably like the worst part of my labor, like her not being able to find the heartbeat, because not only am I going through this excruciating pain, I'm also worried about my baby now because you can't find the heartbeat. And but nobody else seemed to be worried. So that was a tall tale sign, but I was still worried. So it takes her like 30 minutes. She can't find it. So I'm like, I need to get in the pool. I don't care what y'all gotta do. I'm getting in this pool. I take off my clothes where I stand and I walk into the pool. As soon as I got in the pool, I started to push. And I couldn't literally control the things that were coming out of my mouth. So I was grunting. So I was like, ugh. I know this sounds weird, but I'm like, because I can feel my body pushing baby girl down. And it felt great. Like, if you can do it, hydrotherapy, I 10 out of 10 recommend. If you can get a pool in your home, if you can get a pool in the hospital, if you can get a pool at the birthing center you choose, I would highly recommend, because it literally saved my birth. Like, it saved me from making that call to 911 to actually having the baby in the pool. And it's crazy because regardless if I called 911 after that, she came so quick, I would have had the baby in the ambulance. Like, there would have been no epidural anyway. I get in the pool and I started grunting. I'm pushing the baby down, but I'm still a little worried because they can't find the heartbeat. And they're getting the water ready. They're making it warm, cold. Actually, I have a clip of it. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to show because there was, at this point, I played music. So there was music in the background. I don't want the whole copyright thing, but I will try to insert a clip here.
It's a little too warm, Miss.
Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's just put some cold in
Okay.
because we want it a little fuller. You're pushing. Go, don't breathe in the water. That's right. That's right.
With every face.
You can use water too. Those washcloths put a nice cold, get a cold bucket of ice water.
Say it again, there is a tinkling sound. I want you to understand this, that there is always a sound.
So as you can see, everybody's everywhere, getting ready for the baby. Water's coming, they can see, they can hear. There's mucus coming out into the pool. There's, yeah, it's just a lot going on at this point in time. So I pushed for maybe 30 minutes and baby girl was here. She was here. It was like, and here's actually a clip. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to blur it out, but if I'm able to blur it out, I'll insert a clip here.
Yes, get on top. Yes.
That's a girl.
Go ahead.
That's a
Go
girl.
ahead.
There you go.
Go
There
ahead.
you go,
Okay,
sweetie.
there you go. There you
There
go.
you go.
Here's the head. Heads out.
Sit down and neutral. There you go. Okay.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Oh my gosh, you did it. Hi, baby.
Hold the baby up out the water, please.
But it's pulling.
Okay.
Oh, baby, we did it. I did it.
Yes, you did.
Hi, baby. I know, baby. I'm right here. Mommy's here.
You're doing great. You did amazing.
Hi, baby. Girl. No way. Was amazing. Like, y'all, as soon as she came out, the pain instantly stopped. Like, it instantly stopped. Like, there was no more pain. I know people say like you have to deliver the placenta, and there was still like cramps with the placenta, like waiting to deliver the placenta. I still felt cramps, but it was not nearly as bad as it was before baby girl was born. So soon after I gave birth to her, they said, hey, you know, it could get messy in the pool. Would you like to step out to birth the placenta? I was like, absolutely. So I get up, I step out, and as soon, y'all, I put one foot out, I put the other foot out, and the placenta quite literally falls out. I push a little bit, it falls out. They catch it with a bowl, and yeah, like, that was, people say the afterbirth and the placenta hurt. There was no pain associated with that. We got in the bed, we did breastfeeding, we did the golden hour. It's called the golden hour. And me and babe immediately had her try to latch. She latched perfectly. I never had an issue with Eden's baby girl's latch. I've never had an issue with her breastfeeding. You know, with supply for me, yes, but I'm 7 months postpartum, almost 8, and I'm still breastfeeding. She still hasn't had any issues with latching. She has teeth now, so she be biting down, and we be beefing about that. But as far as latching and everything, it was literally the perfect birth. And I know you may hear that and say, but you just talked about all of this pain. I just feel like the pain, the pleasure and the gratification of having my baby at home in the comforts of my home, in a protected space, in a covered space, a space covered in prayer, in a space with my husband and the people I know will protect me and help me through this journey, through that specific journey, it does not compare to the pain that I felt. Like, y'all, it was amazing. Like, and for everybody to be so supportive and helpful, I loved it. I loved everything about my birth. Like I said, if I could change 2 things, it would be the way that I coped with my contractions and my self-doubt. But those are things that I need to work on within myself. But outside of everything, outside of those things, there's nothing that I can do to complain about my birth. It was the best birth I can't say that I ever had. Well, it is the best birth I've ever had, but I've only had 1 birth. So yeah, y'all, if you could have a baby at home, if you have any inkling to have a baby at home, I'm telling you, do it. You will not regret it. Obviously, with the proper resources, you know, the midwives, the doula, everything that you need in order to have a successful birth at home, of course, like, that is a big portion of it. But if you can do it, I'm telling you, just do it. Just pray that, like, if it is your will, you didn't come across this this post for no reason. You didn't watch till now for no reason. You haven't looked up birth stories and successful home births for no reason. So I just pray that, you know, even in the middle of the chaos and the storm and the naysayers and everybody else, that you just listen to God, you listen to your heart, you follow God's plan for your birth. And yeah, I just pray that you are just still, and that you trust what you're watching, you trust what you're listening to, you trust what God is telling you, and you go for it. It's better to try and fail than it is not to try at all. And you can hear that a lot. And most likely, if you are feeling pulled, if God is telling you to do this, you won't fail. And whatever it looks like, you will not fail. So yeah, I just pray that you are encouraged by my birth story. I pray that this touches you and it helps you and leads you into the direction that you are supposed to or can go. So I'm gonna close this out by reading the post that I made for when I had baby girl. So this is what I said. This experience has been nothing short of the glory of God. I could not be more ecstatic about my first joyful, intense, emotional, demanding, and life-changing experience at labor and delivery. It was only by His grace and mercy I was able to endure and get to meet our baby girl in the comforts of our own home. Won't He do it? To my husband, thank you. I never thought I could love someone so much more than I did the day before. But sometimes never is a distorted perception, because I continuously find myself falling deeper in love with you. Jordan, the way you nurtured me, spoke life over me and our baby girl, trusted me in my body, and didn't let me give up even when I wanted to. You truly pushed me beyond what I could see. For that, I will forever be grateful. I just can't thank you enough. Even during the process, I just had to stop and thank God for my man. Birth is not only about making babies, it's about making mothers, strong, competent, capable mothers who trust themselves and believe in their inner strength. Thanks to my doula, Ashley, woo woo, who aided in all of those attributes coming to light. This woman right here, I don't say it lightly when I use the words God sent. At the same time my husband and I had to adjust with him moving overseas, she entered in. From providing us with all the information we needed to make decisions surrounding our birth and pregnancy, to making the raspberry leaf tea all the time, to being a shoulder to cry on when hormones became intolerable, to aiding in making me feel confident about giving birth at home. She reassured and encouraged me through all emotions surrounding labor, and just her sheer presence made me feel secure. A woman like her is hard to find, difficult to part with, and absolutely impossible to forget. Throughout this process, I had to realize that no matter how much I tried to fight it, God was ordering my steps and leading me to a home birth. Oftentimes, the journey God leads us on is not comfortable, but all the difficulties, naysayers, and delays are a part of His plan to get us to our destiny. He will work all things for your good. Stay in the present. Take it one day at a time. You don't have grace for tomorrow. You have grace for right now. This present step. Thank you to the rest of our birth team for making this possible. We are the only species of mammals that doubts our ability to give birth. It's profitable to scare women about birth, but let's stop it. I tell women, your body is not a lemon. That's by Ina May Gaskin, who actually wrote a couple books that I read throughout my pregnancy that actually also helped me through my birth process. And then lastly, I said, to all the women out there who even had the slightest idea or inkling to have an unmedicated natural birth, you can do it. And you are stronger than you think you are. God, I thank you for entrusting me with the ministry of motherhood. that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed my birth story. I hope that it encouraged and helped you, and I hope that if you have any inkling or any idea to have a birth at home, that all the resources would just flow to you and that you would be at peace and no anxiety, and it would be the best birth story of your life. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you, but most importantly, God loves you, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.